I'm glad you said that, Presiding Officer, because I'm quite keen to try and express myself as fully as I feel is necessary. Amendment 1 in the name of Adam Tompkins, I think, is helpful, but in my view, it doesn't go far enough. I want to speak in support of the amendments tabled by my colleague Joanne Lamont. Presiding Officer, hate is now such a contested term, and I am worried that members of this Parliament are complacent about the atmosphere in which women are currently arguing that sex is something that continues to matter in shaping their experiences of the world. And I know this from my own experiences over the last 2 years, saying that sex matters. I was branded hateful online for questioning NHS Scotland policy, which stated that a baby's gender was assigned at birth. I know that not to be true, and that my son's own sex was clearly observed and recorded at birth. But for that branded to be hateful is perhaps an example of the atmosphere that we are operating in. Now, the campaign group Women's Place UK, who submitted written evidence on the bill at stage 1, told us about the violent threats and protests they have faced at almost all of their 27 public meetings, including a bomb threat. I was at the meeting that Joanne Lamont talked about, and many other of my colleagues in the chamber were as well, and never have I felt the intimidation at over 25 years now of going to political meetings that I did then. That was at Edinburgh University. And just yesterday, the Edinburgh University student newspaper reported that transphobic stickers had been found on campus. Now, these stickers included one that said, "Do you believe that male-sexed people should have the right to undress and shower in a communal changing room with teenage girls?" Now, when similar stickers were found on campus previously, an activist group encouraged people to report them to the police. The university principal was reported to have said the perpetrators would be traced via CCTV footage, and he reported stickers to the police. Now, Adam Tompkins, in his contribution, told us that the test is that the person shows they were being reasonable in the circumstances. I would ask him both about the sticker posters and the Edinburgh University principal, were they being reasonable in the circumstances? Presiding Officer, I don't think the Tompkins amendment is clear enough. Professor Tompkins knows as well as I do that over the years the courts have been biased towards women. And indeed, there was a book written about this and draws on Scottish examples by Helena Kennedy, the very person who is heading up the working group. We know that they have been biased over years. And it was just about 2 years ago that a dental student in Scotland got off with sexually abusing a young girl because the male sheriff said it would be harmful to his dental career to have this crime against his name. The bias is apparent. So I would ask Professor Tompkins, does his amendment not require the more specific detail that Joanne Lamont has provided, and indeed his contribution in the Group 2 debate saying that more specifics are required in the legislation would suggest that perhaps he does. Presiding Officer, I would draw my remarks to a close by saying that in an atmosphere like this, anything short of a provision which puts beyond doubt that basic statements about sex are not of themselves abusive under the bill will leave women exposed to unpredictable judgments by frontline police officers and the courts. And before that, maybe even their employers. The only safe option for women will be constant self-censorship, which will be an invisible corrosive effect and antithetical to healthy democratic debate. The Parliament should not be so complacent about setting up such a situation. Thank you, Presiding Officer.
Thank you very much, Ms Marra. Can I call Patrick Harvey to be followed by Elaine Smith? Patrick Harvey.